Hello, welcome to Prime Time News, live from the News First Centre here in Colombo. I'm Madhushka Balasurya.
And I'm Ratnasekara. Let's start off with a look at your headlines.
The headlines on News First at 9.
Commonwealth Secretary General arrives in the country. Commonwealth Youth Forum and People's Forum to commence tomorrow. Indian media reports vary on Prime Minister's visit to Sri Lanka. Sapukaskanda Refinery shut down once again. Trade unions level charges of corruption. Several carriages of the night mail plying from Badulla to Colombo detach. Typhoon Haiyan claims over 100 lives in the Philippines.
News First at 9.
Starting on the topic of Chogam, Secretary General of the Commonwealth Kamalesh Sharma arrived in the island this evening for the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting.
Yes, Madhushka, the Commonwealth People's Forum and the Youth Forum will commence tomorrow.
The Commonwealth Youth Forum, which will be held concurrent to the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, will commence tomorrow at the Magam Ruhunapura International Conference Hall in Hambantota. The Youth Forum will be graced by President Mahinda Rajapaksa and the Secretary General of the Commonwealth, Kamalesh Sharma. Over 200 youth delegates representing 54 countries will attend the 9th Commonwealth Youth Forum, which will begin tomorrow. The theme of the Commonwealth Youth Forum will be Inclusive Development, Stronger Together. 44 countries from 3 regions will come together. So far, youth delegations from around 39 countries have arrived. We can describe this as a good thing. All preparations have been made for the establishment of a Commonwealth Youth Council for the first time and for a vote to be held on it on the 13th. The Commonwealth People's Forum 2013 will begin tomorrow at the Galle Fort under the auspices of President Mahinda Rajapaksa. The People's Forum will continue until the 14th of this month in Hikkadua, and over 500 delegates, local and international, are due to attend. The objective of the Commonwealth People's Forum is to address the common issues faced by society in the Commonwealth member states and find solutions to these issues. At the end of the forum, certain decisions will be reached on behalf of the society of the Commonwealth member states. These decisions will be presented before the Commonwealth representatives on the 12th. On the 16th, a draft proposal will be prepared and presented to the foreign ministers so they can produce them before their heads of states. We expect that the heads of states will have a look at the draft and include them into the Commonwealth policy for the next 2 years.
Well, Minister of Mass Media and Information Kehediya Rambukwella convened a press conference in Kandy today.
Yes, there the Minister expressed views on the programme producer of Britain's Channel 4, Callum McRae, who produced programmes relating to Sri Lanka, being included in the media team that will accompany the British Prime Minister to Sri Lanka.
Over 1,000 journalists will arrive for the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting. Because of certain entities, we are not prepared to stop the arrival of 1 or 2 people. Every one of them has been granted the freedom. However, we believe that they are of the 3rd class. This person, Callum McRae, the producer of Channel 4, has made productions. We are saying it publicly, but we have not reached any agreement for any compromise. It is not him. The Prime Minister has requested for the entire team. We have no issue with that. Even the President said, come and see. We are granting room for that.
Now, the Department of Railways is probing an incident where several compartments of the Badulla-Colombo night mail detached this morning while the train was on the move.
Yes, Madhushka, and no one was harmed in the incident, and the train was brought back to Colombo with all compartments intact.
Tudwegedura is the area located between the Horape train station and Enderamula train station. Several compartments of the train that was heading to Colombo this morning had detached at this location. The Badulla-Colombo night mail comprises of 13 compartments. The railway control room said that at around 5:30 this morning, 5 compartments along with the train engine had detached. At the bend, 5 compartments with the engine moved forward. Then the train stopped. 6 compartments at the back had detached.
We looked out and saw that there were 6 compartments at the back and 5 compartments along with the engine ahead of us. The cables of the coupler were broken. They then coupled it back together and brought the train to Maradana.
It took almost half an hour to rectify the error. Another train arrived from behind. That too was stopped. The passengers in that train had to wait for half an hour before they could move on. The engine came forward, later the compartments followed. The railway's control room said that the train was brought back to Colombo Fort at around 8:30 this morning after repairing the couplers.
We operate the train safely, ensuring that no one gets hurt. Thereby, no one was hurt in this incident. Such incidents occur when there is a fault in the tracks, or in the couplers, or sometimes due to a sudden push. We will be able to determine the exact cause for this, following an investigation which we have commenced.
14 individuals, including students, suffered injuries when two buses veered off the road and collided with trees in close proximity to the Kathiawar junction in Eppavala.
Yes, this accident occurred this morning.
The accident occurred when 2 buses carrying students attached to an arts institute began their journey to Anuradhapura from the Polpitigama area in Kurunagala.
The children were on their way to Anuradhapura to fulfill a vow.
According to a correspondent in the area, the 2 buses were carrying children belonging to 12 schools. The bus travelling in front was the first to veer off the road as the driver had been speeding. According to the police, the driver of the second bus, who panicked upon witnessing the accident, also veered off the road and hit another tree.
The first bus veered off the road and crashed into a tree. When this happened, our driver got excited. There was a tree in front and he too turned into it. There was a mud puddle and we got stuck in it as well.
14 individuals were injured in the accident and were admitted to the Eppavala Divisional Hospital. 6 of them were transferred to the Anuradhapura Teaching Hospital for further treatment. Director of the hospital, Dr. W. Atapatthi, noted that one of the injured is in a critical condition. The driver of the first bus was produced before the Tambutegama Magistrates Court and was remanded until the 15th of this month.
The Sapagaskanda oil refinery was temporarily shut down once again.
The manager of the refinery, Neil Jayasekara, noted the refinery was shut down due to a delay in the arrival of the stocks of crude oil. Activities of the Sapagaskanda oil refinery came to a standstill at midnight yesterday. Manager of the oil refinery, Neil Jayasekara, noted that activities at the refinery will resume when they receive stocks of crude oil. He noted that they would use this time period to carry out maintenance work on the machinery at the centre. However, trade unions charged that officials did not act to procure crude oil even though they were aware that their stocks were running low.
We informed the officials very clearly that for 2 weeks we haven't received crude oil required for the refinery. They lowered the output of the refinery. We stated that the country is losing millions because of this. We requested them to take immediate steps. They announced on the 7th that 2 ships are on their way and activities of the refinery will not be hampered. The country needs approximately 300 to 350 million metric tons of kerosene on a daily basis. We produce about 85% of this kerosene. When activities at the refinery come to a halt, we need to import all the kerosene. We produce 40% of our petrol as well. Jet fuel, which brings us valuable foreign exchange, will have to be imported fully. We will lose the profits that we stand to make through it. The cost of importing all this will exceed 100 million. The employees worked tirelessly to ensure that the refinery functions. The officials at the refinery attempted to ensure that the refinery functions. However, officials at the ministry, the senior officials at the CPC as well as the government did not focus their attention on this matter. Moreover, the administration that comprised of fraud, corruption and inefficiency have forced for the refinery to be shut down. They have failed to focus their attention solely because of the need to rip off the petroleum resources. There is a conspiracy behind the shutdown of the refinery. They have removed the name of the company that imported substandard fuel from the blacklist. They have gone through 4 or 5 agents and have begun purchasing fuel once more. When we make emergency purchases, we need to pay a very high price. They continue to impose taxes on the public to keep up these activities.
There is storage space for 40 days of crude oil at Sapukaskanda. So why wasn't there sufficient quantities stored in case the particular ship didn't arrive? Usually we buy refined oil to bridge the gap between what can be produced, what can be refined at Sapukaskanda and the actual requirement. I mean, you don't need to buy the 100% requirement of kerosene oil, for instance, when only 10% is required and 90% comes across the process at Sapukaskanda. So it seems that there is a complex game that is being played.
Sapukaskanda oil refinery shut down on a number of occasions. The refinery was forced to shut down on 4 occasions in 2012. Sapukaskanda oil refinery non-operational once again. Trade unions. Refinery closed down temporarily due to the lack of crude oil. Trade unions charge that the Sapukaskanda oil refinery has not been restored to normal. Today, steps were taken to temporarily shut down the refinery. CPC. Cause? Delay in supply of crude oil. Sapukaskanda refinery manager. Why haven't the officials been able to rectify shortcomings present at the main fuel supplying center in the country? For the attention of the officials.
United People's Freedom Alliance parliamentarian Shanta Bandara, speaking at an event in Dambadeni yesterday, commented on the United National Party.
Recently, when the President asked for proposals from us for the budget, we presented a new proposal, that is to grant tax concessions for cinnamon sticks, because the United National Party will need them, so that then at least some will keep quiet. The United National Party, which has no democracy, is attempting to establish democracy in the country. A new topic was created, that is, we are creating a leadership council to end defeat. So the UNP supporters in the villages were gazing at this, hoping that they will be steered to victory. Finally, what happened?
Once the
leadership council was made, Sajid Pemadasa stepped away. Talata Atukorla also stepped away. There are issues again. No matter what council they make, it will only be a bankrupt council. Is there any leader in the opposition who can provide a leadership? That is why the United National Party has become weak.
The final rites of the former Attorney General, President's Counsel C.R. De Silva was performed today.
The cortege of late C.R. De Silva left his residence in Kirulapana to the Boralla Cemetery this morning. Many distinguished personalities, including President Mahinda Rajapaksa, arrived at the funeral to pay their last respects. C.R. De Silva held many high-ranking positions such as Senior State Counsel, Deputy Solicitor General and Additional Solicitor General. C.R. De Silva, who resigned in 2007 after 32 years of service, was also the President of the Lessons Learned and Reconciliation Commission. The 24th Attorney General of Sri Lanka, C.R. De Silva, was the proud product of Royal College Colombo. Teachers, students and parents of Royal College Colombo also arrived at the Boralla Cemetery today to pay their last respects.